He posted an update on Facebook thanking everyone for the support and confirming that he's conscious and has some memory of what went down.
Is there a world where, it's Rampage's son, can Rampage go, listen, drop the charges and I'll give you $300,000? Let's say your son did that and you have the means to pay $300,000. What's your son learn if you bail him out? Does it teach your son a better lesson if he goes into the system?
I guess the answer is I don't know.
I know what you would do.
Yeah.
You would pay the $300,000, Brian.
100%.
Psychos 2, the wrestler who was attacked by Roger Jackson, has now taken legal action by filing a lawsuit against him, seeking accountability for the incident. Meanwhile, Dylan Dennis weighed in on the matter, calling the footage disturbing and suggesting that Jackson may have serious issues with controlling his temper. Dennis explained that in professional wrestling, athletes depend on one another to perform moves safely, sharing balance and weight to avoid unnecessary risks. He criticized the throw as reckless and dangerous, arguing that it looked more like a deliberate attempt to cause harm than a coordinated part of the performance. Dennis further added that moments like these damage the credibility of wrestling, a sport that is built on cooperation, trust, and protecting each other rather than causing injuries.
To be honest, it's hard to watch, but in a way, it's like he might have something like wrong, like maybe like anger problems, because like why would he do that, And anybody that has trained or anybody that has a brain knows when someone's working or someone's like, and like that would be like me going with you right now and you're like, oh, I'm gonna pick you up and we're working, we're doing a WWE match. Like you could slam me in my head, like I'm giving you my weight, you know what I mean? So like the guy obviously let him pick him up, and then slamming him like that is ridiculous. First off, especially being a guy that's trained, I know he's only 0-1, but like slamming the guy like that first off is ridiculous. Like any person in WWE can do that to each other. That's not anything like people are adding like, oh, that's Rampage Jr. or something like that. Like the guy jumped up for you to carry his weight and he's trusting you to take care of his body. You know what I mean? And then he's throwing those shots and like, I get you can kind of lay one in, like, you know what I mean? I can hit you like that. But the first one was like a haymaker. He's trying to like kill the guy and like, it's just sad. Like I don't understand what happened. Like it's hard to explain what happened, and it looks bad for us too. You know what I mean? Like anybody could do that. Like I can go in the ring in WWE and do that. Like why I do that? No. Like you're supposed to have a trust. And that's a different sport. It's a pro wrestling.
Adding to the backlash, an MMA analyst delivered a scathing rebuke of Roger Jackson, branding him a reckless brute who should be facing jail time for his actions. He criticized the lack of immediate intervention during the altercation, expressing disbelief that the situation was allowed to escalate unchecked. In his view, Jackson's behavior was so out of line that he deserved to be stopped then and there, knocked out in the ring for crossing the line from performance into outright aggression.
Yeah, to bring that sparring partner back, tornado kick him again. Dumb animal. Brother, dumb animal, put him in a cage, straight up. Raja should have got knocked out cold in that ring. No one was doing anything about it but that pink.
However, Psycho Stu has now taken official legal action against Roger Jackson after the violent incident that left him injured during the wrestling event. The lawsuit follows days of speculation and growing public outrage, with Stu determined to seek justice for the attack. The confrontation, which was captured on camera and circulated widely online, has fueled intense debate over accountability and safety in the sport.
Posted an update on Facebook thanking everyone for the support and confirming that he's conscious and has some memory of what went down.
Furthermore, Brendan Schwab raised doubts about whether Rampage Jackson should use his wealth to resolve the situation, questioning if offering the victim $300,000 to drop the charges would actually teach Roger anything. He argued that if parents simply paid to make such a serious matter disappear, the real lesson is lost. Instead, Schwab suggested that facing the legal system could deliver a far stronger and more meaningful consequence.
A world where, it's Rampage's son, can Rampage go, listen, drop the charges and I'll give you $300,000. Let's say your son did that and you have the means to pay $300,000. What's your son learn if you bail him out? Does it teach your son a better lesson if he goes into the system?
I guess the answer is I don't know.
I know what you would do.
Yeah.
You would pay the $300,000, Brian.
100%.
Streamer XQC went even further, describing the altercation as resembling an attempted killing. He explained that moves like the one executed could easily have fatal consequences, noting that people have lost their lives in spontaneous street fights over far less forceful actions. Calling the incident shocking, XQC stressed that the damage and chaos extended well beyond the moment of the throw.
You wouldn't convince me this is not attempted murder. That is how you kill somebody. We've seen people die in street fights all the time with things that weren't even that bad. This is outrageous, and it doesn't stop.
Brandon Schwab admitted that his first instinct was to stand by Roger Jackson, driven by loyalty and his close bond with Rampage Jackson. However, after reviewing the full livestream recordings, he concluded there was no justifiable defense for Roger's actions. Schwab underscored the seriousness of the situation, warning that it could have lasting consequences for Roger's future. He explained that if the professional wrestler chose not to pursue legal action, Roger might avoid prison, but would still face widespread backlash and a tarnished online reputation. On the other hand, should the case move forward in court, Roger could be staring down charges as severe as aggravated assault or even attempted murder, legal battles that would create significant obstacles in the days ahead.
Raja, and obviously I adore Rampage. Me and Rampage have a great relationship. I love Rampage. And it's just by nature, my initial thought was when I heard about this, and I spoke with Rampage, when I heard about this, I went, all right, how can I defend Raja? I look at all the videos, I watched the full live stream and all that. I got nothing.
Oh,
I can't, you can't defend this. I see this, it's so sad. Because he was just getting started, and that all goes away. If this veteran pro wrestler decides to press charges, that pro wrestler goes, this was a bit or this was a work, and he just thought that's how it works, I'm not pressing charges, Raja's still going to take a lot of heat online, but you're not doing jail time. Then we can figure it out. But if that dude wakes up and somebody's in his ear and goes, dude, you got to make this dude pay. He has to learn a lesson and he presses charges. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Attempted murder, aggravated assault, it's going to be tough. Talking about felony.
Matt Brown remarked that if Roger Jackson were not the son of Rampage Jackson, there would likely be no leniency or compassion shown toward him. He explained that much of the restraint and public reaction stemmed from the respect Rampage had earned over the years, not from the act itself. Brown stressed that the footage left little room for debate, clearly showing the wrestler being slammed and struck repeatedly without any chance to defend himself. He categorized the incident as a serious criminal offense, potentially bordering on aggravated assault or worse, and emphasized that Roger was fortunate the victim escaped with only the injuries reported.
If this was anybody other than Rampage Jackson's son, I don't think there'd be any empathy here at all, but we all love Rampage and he's the man, you know, and the fact that he's his son, we're all sitting here like, bro, what the you know, and what do we think about this? You know, if it was just anybody else in the world, it'd be like, bro, throw that you know, in the cage and throw the key away, man. And that's probably what's going to happen to him. Like, you know, you say they're investigating, like, well, there's not a lot to investigate. Like, there's a video that shows it pretty goddamn clear, you know, what do we need to investigate here? So, you know, what's he going to get? You know, I don't know what like attempted murder is, but I mean, he was knocked out and punching the shit out of him. You know, I don't know how far they go in there or what the details are to get that charge. Aggravated assault's for sure, battery, you know what I mean? Like, this is a felony for sure, right? I mean, there's I don't think there's any way out of that. So, you know, kind of just is what it is for him now. But like what a move, man, you know, like, you want to fight the guy. Like, dude was like, you know, we watched the video right before the podcast here. And, you know, the dude was like preparing for a pro wrestling style takedown and land him on his head. Like, you know, dude's lucky that, you know, like you said, he's hospitalized, but man, he's lucky that that's all that happened, you know?
Brown continued by acknowledging that while many feel compelled to stand with Rampage during this difficult time, the incident still demands accountability, and Roger must face the rightful consequences. He condemned the violence as both unwarranted and unfair, stressing that the wrestler had no opportunity to defend himself or even react. Brown also expressed his wishes for the victim's recovery, noting the man's background and previous struggles, and concluded that although Rampage himself might call for leniency, the wider community must recognize the wrongful nature of the act.
Hopefully the guy's all right, man. That's about all you can say at the end of the day, right? Hopefully the guy just heals up and, you know, with some PTSD or being a veteran and everything, man, you know, just hope that the guy turns out okay, man. Send him some positive energy and hope for the best. That's about the most you can say about it. Other than that, you know, again, loving Rampage, but, you know, hopefully justice is done and his son gets what he deserves. I don't agree with Sean on that at all. You know, like, the dude doesn't, Like, it'd be one thing, you know, if like they got in a fight and he f***ed him up and, you know, hurt him bad, right? But like the dude was defenseless and then knocked out. Like, fucking. And the only guy that should not be saying him is Rampage, right? Because it's his son. And he's the one that should be saying, you know, can we just give him some help or something, you know, try to stick up for him. But everybody else, I mean, we have no reason to have any sympathy for that kind of behavior.
Sean Ali voices perspective by stating that the blows delivered were far too extreme and well beyond what could ever be considered acceptable. He pointed out that the professional wrestler had struck Roger Jackson over the head with a cane, questioning whether the wrestler still believed it was part of a stage performance. Even so, Ali made it absolutely clear that such harm cannot be excused, stressing that violent actions of this nature must stop immediately.
Yeah, no, those are full on, like, I'm been beating those were brutal. Yeah. Oh, I did see the guy hit him over the head with a can, but if the guy thought that was part of like what I don't know. It's you can't.
Kevin Lee commented that while he personally respects Rampage Jackson, he firmly believes Rampage should hand his son over to the authorities and allow due process to take its course. Lee explained that if his own child had committed such an act, he would expect the same treatment because violent behavior of that nature cannot be dismissed. He emphasized that Roger is a grown man who must take responsibility for his decisions, even if that means facing prison time. At the same time, Lee acknowledged that the wrestler's act of striking Roger with a bottle was also inappropriate, but he made it clear that this did not justify the brutal retaliation that followed.
And if it's Rampage, I love Rampage. But Rampage, turn your son in. He got to go lay down for a little bit. Like, if it was my son, that's what I would tell him. I mean, you a grown man, bro. You can't condone that type of behavior, bro. You got to go lay down for a little bit. We'll get you a good lawyer. You ain't gonna be in there forever, but you gotta go lay down. I get it. He hit you in the head with a bottle beforehand. I get it. He shouldn't have did that. I don't condone that either.
He elaborated further, criticizing the sequence of events by pointing out that Roger waited several hours before ambushing the wrestler, who was at work, performing in character, and had no expectation of being attacked. He cited reports claiming the victim's heart had stopped and that he remained unconscious for several minutes, describing the gravity of the situation as extreme. According to Lee, Roger's actions reflected impulsiveness and a lack of discipline, and he questioned how anyone could condone such an outburst. Lee concluded that Roger should serve prison time as a way to accept responsibility and ultimately grow from the ordeal.
To wait hours until the man was working, which we all understand, he playing a character and he was in character and he working, and then you sneak him, because that's what you did. I mean, you snuck him. He wasn't expecting that, and you bro, they say dude flatlined and was unconscious for 6 minutes afterwards. Dog gotta go lay down. You gotta go to prison, bro. There's no part of that you thought was cool. Like, I can't even wrap my mind around why you thought that was cool and why you ain't got no self-control over your emotions.
Tim Wells reacted intensely to the footage, admitting it was almost unwatchable as the victim appeared completely incapacitated while the beating continued. He said it looked as though Roger Jackson's intent was to cause serious harm, or possibly even take the man's life, regardless of whether that was truly his aim. Wells condemned the act outright, calling it indefensible and stressing the importance of legal consequences, particularly since the altercation was live-streamed and there were even claims a reward had been promised for a knockout.
11, 12, 13, like what? I can't even watch this. The kid's blacked out. The kid's blacked out, and I think his goal right there was to murder. Maybe not. Maybe not. Blacked out, maybe he doesn't know what he's doing, but he damn near killed the man. That's crazy. He's got to get some punishment for this. There's just going to be no excuse. He's going to probably go away for a long while, especially on stream. He's on stream and he said 50 subs for a KO.
Later, Welsh added that the legal outlook for Roger Jackson appears grim, even with Rampage Jackson's wealth and ability to secure top-tier lawyers. He cautioned that the case could easily be classified as attempted murder given the severity of the violence, underscoring the dangers of explosive confrontations, especially for hot-tempered individuals. Welsh explained that while martial arts training may prepare someone to handle conflict, continuing to strike a person who is already unconscious dramatically increases the risk of death. He described the incident as deeply disturbing and warned that actions of this nature almost always end with prison sentences.
This isn't going to be good for old Raja. Rampage's got money. I mean, they're going to have some good lawyers. But it might be attempted murder. I mean, God, that's the thing. You got to be careful getting in street fights. If you can avoid street fights, avoid them. Especially if you got a temper tantrum. Maybe if you know a little jiu-jitsu and you get in a street fight here and there, it's okay. You can take care of yourself, get in a good position. But once you crack somebody and then you start seeing red and you're not thinking about what you're doing and you're punching them and they're already knocked out, good chance you're going to kill them. And now you might be in the pen. So, I mean, that was
Derek Brunson shared his perspective, explaining that when he first heard about the situation, he assumed it was part of a scripted wrestling performance. However, after reviewing the footage closely, he realized it was a genuine and deeply troubling incident. Brunson condemned Roger Jackson's actions, calling them reckless and completely unnecessary, and stressed that such violence has no place in wrestling or anywhere else. He expressed concern for the injured wrestler, wishing him a full recovery, and warned Roger that choices like this inevitably lead to serious consequences. Brunson concluded by highlighting how quickly small disputes can spiral into life-altering problems.
All right, follow me real quick. When I first saw this, I thought these guys were playing. You know, WWE hardcore match.
Oh, look at this. Mox has him up. Oh!
Disqualification, but please. No.
After doing my research, this was definitely real.
That's a little.
Oh, you don't. Unavoidable.
Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro.
Should have never happened.
I apologize. I appreciate it. I didn't know. I thought you were a worker.
At the end of the day, I hope the wrestler that was hit and pummeled is okay. And for Roger, your actions were out of line, so you're gonna have to deal with some big boy consequences for this one. All of us can learn a little something from this. Don't let small situations escalate into bigger situations that will ultimately cost you big consequences.
Shelson also weighed in, noting that while he didn't yet have all the details, the situation could escalate significantly if Psycho Stu were found to have suffered serious injuries such as a broken jaw or damaged teeth. He explained that authorities already hold clear video evidence of the assault, but are waiting for an official statement from Psycho Stu before moving the case forward legally.
I'm getting in front of this and I'm making these predictions without having news if Psycho Stu is injured. If his jaw's broken and some teeth that are loose, all of a sudden you're having a very different conversation. But you have the police that are in possession of irrefutable evidence known as a video that an assault happened, and the police have not taken any action. And they won't take any action until a statement is made one way or the other by Psycho Stu.
And that's it for today's video. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think Roger Jackson deserved jail time for his actions, or should there be another form of accountability? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. We'd love to see what you think, though if you enjoyed this breakdown. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Also, check out the other videos on your screen right now for more stories just like this.